How's it going, everybody? Chris Cards back through the mail Monday on August 5th, 2024. A brand new month and a brand new set of returns. 8 total. Our first from Columbus, Ohio. And behind envelope numero uno, we have Mr. Brad Kaminsk. Brad Kaminsk here signed an 84 Fleer update card with a very odd downward sloping to the right signature there. Brad Kaminsk, a former first-round draft pick, 4th overall by the Atlanta Braves way back in 1979. Usually it's the Mets that blow a draft pick. Brad here was considered a can't-miss prospect by none other than Hank Aaron. Everyone thought this guy was going to be a star, 5-tool athlete, all the accolades, cover of Baseball America, 81 and 83. Never quite made it in the bigs. 8 years, 370 total games. Didn't play very well, didn't hit very well, did very good in the minor leagues, but was basically just a 4A player, never could put it all together in the major league. Some say perhaps the pressure got to him. Joe Torre says his asthma played a part in his failure. Nice to see the Braves take a whiff on a draft pick. Usually that's the Mets with Chilcott and Sean Abner and Paul Wilson, but this time the Braves blew it, of course. Hindsight's always 20/20, of course. This guy was supposed to be a can't miss. Nice little signature from Brad Kaminsk. The Red Sox even tried to get him out of the Braves. They were going to trade Jim Rice for Brad Kaminsk, and the Braves said, You can actually see a video of him taking a home run away from Cal Ripken, who hit one off of John Farrell way back in 1990. Only got into 8 games as a San Francisco Giant. One of those games, he robbed a home run, but the ball took him over the fence for a home run. So he did not rob the home run from Cal Ripken. Ripken was credited with a home run because Kaminsk ended up on the other side of the wall with the ball, even though he caught it. Can't do that, Brad. Actually, if you look at the video, it looks like Brad kind of threw himself over the wall. I think he could have stayed in play if he kind of tried, but very weird play. Of the 8 games he played for the Giants in 1990, that, of course, that happened. So we have that fun little highlight on YouTube to watch. There you guys go. There's information. Awesome return from Brad Kaminsk. Let's move on, guys, to return number 2. Greenville, South Carolina for our second return. As I carefully open this, because I can't really tell where the cards are in here, as I got a little spot right there, as you can see. Let's rip into it. Let's move on with our lives here and speed this up. We got some answered questions, hopefully, back from Mr. Bob Kipper. Bob Kipper on an 88 Fleer Glossy. They weren't called Tiffany, of course. Fleer had their own cards called Glossy. 87 Donruss. There's an 86 Topps Tiffany, as well as a Bowman card. Bob Kipper signed very nicely. Another former first-round draft pick, this time of the Angels, way back in 1982. 8th overall pick. Spent 8 years in the big, 7 with Pittsburgh. Only got into 2 games for the Angels. Got into 25 games for the Twins towards the end of his career. Let's see what the questions say here. How many autograph requests do you typically receive each week or month? This is 8 to 15. He has no problems with our autograph request. What was it like wearing those pirate caps in the 80s? Did they feel just like regular caps? He said he didn't like them, but they felt like normal caps. What do you think of the new rule changes? Don't mind them. Of course, Bob Kipper has several famous cards with him just wearing that weird little captain's hat. It's typical 80s Pirates hat. Very cool looking hat, I thought. But there you guys go. You see him right there in the Donruss cards there in the middle. Very distinct looking hat. And Chris Cards, what happens when you forget to take a picture of the cards before you send them out? Well, this is what happens. I just write the address on the back of an envelope and take a picture of it then. So bummer I didn't get my before picture. I think I sent out quite a few back maybe a couple months ago. I sent like 30 or 40 in a couple day period, and I just sort of a couple slipped through the cracks, unfortunately, and that's just what happens. But Bob Kipper went on to have a great coaching career after his playing days were over, spent many, many years in the Red Sox organization, even became bullpen coach way back in 2015 when the aforementioned John Farrell had to step down as manager because of the lymphoma issues, his health issues he had back in 2015. Torey Lovullo, the man who would never hit Bobby Witt on purpose, took over as manager. Everyone moved up, including Bob Kipper. Had other stints in the minors previously as bullpen coach as well. Nice return from Bob Kipper. Great TTM signer. Let's move on, guys, to return number 3. Santa Barbara, California here on our third return. And we have Darren Reed. Darren Reed, 82 total games. Spent 2 years in the bigs One in 1990 with the Mets, then he spent 1992 with both the Montreal Expos and the Minnesota Twins. He got into just 14 games as a Minnesota Twin, ended up on both the 93 Donruss and 93 Topps cards, and just 42 games as an Expo and wound up on the 92 Topps card. So everyone got a card back in the early 90s. Another 4A player, did pretty good in AAA, 280 plus batting average, 90 plus home runs in AAA. Just could not put it together at the big league level. Also played obviously in the Yankees organization for a while, as well as the Mets and the Blue Jays in the minors. As you see there, the Albany Colonial Yankee card, which is, I thought, pretty sweet. Had that in my mixed box of Sears minor league cards way back in the day. Sent that one off along with the other more of the traditional Topps and Donruss cards. Nice return from Darren Reed. Let's move on, guys, to our fourth return. Tampa St. Pete on our next envelope here. And we've got index card questions. Do we get some answered questions? We'll see here in a second. We got Hank Webb. Hank Webb played for the Mets for 5 years. 6-year total career. He did spend 5 games with the 1977 Los Angeles Dodgers before calling it a career. His first decision was a loss in the longest National League game in history. Went 25 innings, actually tied for the longest. Someone else went 25 innings in 1984, I do believe. Got the loss in that game in the 25th inning with an errant pickoff throw at first base. Guy came around to score and cost the Mets the win. And his first decision, so how about that? Of course, the longest game in Major League Baseball history is between the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Robins, who of course became the Dodgers. In 1920, the game ended 1-1 in a 26th inning because of darkness. Both starting pitchers, of course, pitched all 26 innings. That was 1920 for you. Hank Webb, great signature here on the 75 Topps card, which I can get signed by Darcy and can get signed by Leonard. Tom Underwood, unfortunately, has passed on. Nice to get these 2 cards signed by Hank Webb, father of Ryan Webb, of course. He played in the mid-2010s for a bunch of different teams. All right, guys, let's move on to our next return. No idea where this is from. Stamp is not even canceled, but of course I will not reuse it. That is against the law. Not much in here at all. Is there anything in here? I need to be careful I don't bend whatever's in here. Let's see here. Feels like 1 card, and we've got former Rookie of the Year Todd Hollandsworth on a 94 Upper Deck Collector's Choice Rookie Class card. Very nice. He, of course, was the 5th Dodger in a row to win Rookie of the Year back in the 90s when they pretty much had a iron grip on the Rookie of the Year award. Eric Karros, Mike Piazza, Mondesi, and Nomo, and then Todd Hollandsworth back in 1996. 12-year big league career. Never made an all-star game, but pretty solid player during those 12 years. Spent 6 years with the Dodgers and 7 different teams the remaining 6 years of his career. Even won a World Series title his only year with the Marlins back in 2003 under Jack McKeon, that magical Marlins team that was soon dismantled. Nice return from Todd Hollandsworth. Very good signer. Just signs 1 card. If you're going to try him, do not bother to send more than 1 card. Send the card you want signed, and you're going to get them back usually pretty much every time. Let's move on to our next return. Number 6 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just 2 more returns after this one. And we have Mr. Dave Justy. Dave Justy on a 67 Topps and a 68 Topps. Very nice. As an Astro, spent 15 years in the bigs as a pitcher. 7 of those with Pittsburgh, including winning 5 National League East titles with them in a 6-year period. And, of course, 1971 World Series champions with the Pirates. 1973 All-Star. Spent 6 more years with Houston after his Pirate career was over with. Nice return from Dave Justy. Why did not I send a 74 Topps team card? I'm actually waiting on a 74 Topps signature card of the Pirates as well for my sets. So, yes, I've got to get Dave Justy just one more time, one more request. I think I sent him probably 3 or 4 over the past 5 years. Always a great signer. There's the information. Let's move on, guys, to our 7th return of the day. Miami, Florida for our next return here. Got this back on May the 4th. Be with you. A few extra cards in here from the feel of it. Either that or they're just super thick cards, but We've got Terry Collins. Terry Collins, former Mets manager, former Astros manager, former Angels manager. Pretty intense as an Astros manager. Calmed down a bit. He later said he was probably a little bit too demanding as the manager of the Astros. Also the manager of the Albuquerque Dukes. And we got a 2015 NL Champs inscription on the last heritage card there. Very nice return from Terry Collins. Most Mets games managed in Mets history with 1,134. Also managed in Japan for a little bit. But yeah, 2011 to 2017, he had the helm of the Mets, including, of course, their 2015 run to the World Series where they would get clipped by the Kansas City Royals. The Mets and their bullpen did not fare well in that series. I remember that well. Terry Collins, infielder, drafted in 71 by the Pirates, never made it to the bigs, kind of a AAA player in the Dodgers organization for quite a while, before ending up managing the Astros and the Angels and, of course, the Mets. Coached as well a few times. Nice return from Terry Collins. Great signature from him. Love Terry Collins as the manager of the Mets, even though his record was sub 500 for his career. He managed some poor teams. In fact, here's a photo I took of Terry Collins back in 2017. In fact, almost 7 years ago to the day, July 30th, 2017, in Seattle, managing the Mets against the Mariners. This would be his final year in a Mets uniform. Of course, very apropos because the Mets are actually facing the Mariners this weekend. I was going to try to get up there for those games. Probably not going to happen, but had Diamond Club seats that day. Really enjoyed our time there behind home plate. Here's a picture of Yoenis Cespedes. Remember him swinging really, really hard. This was prior to getting injured on his ranch. Got gored by a bull or a goat or stepped in the foxhole or something. I'm not sure what he did. I sort of repressed all those injuries Cespedes had post-2015. What a nightmare that was. Thankfully, his contract was insured, I think. Anyway, it wasn't my money. Doesn't matter. Let's move on, guys, to our final return of the day. Austin, Texas, for our 8th return. Austin, Texas, Rio Grande District. Rio Grande, which does not go through Austin, but the Colorado River does, and the Colorado River doesn't go through Colorado, so... Dennis Cook, 15-year career, 9 different teams in those 15 years. Spent most of his time with the Mets, actually. 4 years with the Metropolitans. Got this card completed, both inscribed with their Major League Baseball debut inscriptions, which came a week apart. It looks like the 2nd and the 13th, both in September, both September call-ups. Nice to get this card finished off from Dennis Cook. Lefty reliever out of the pen. You guys saw, I just got Ken Hill back on TTMM number 270, and here you go. And I got this back, and I said to myself, now I got to send it off to Dennis Cook. Dennis Cook, $5 a card to complete it. Ken Hill cost me $3, so $8 all in. Let's round it up to $10, including postage, and $10 to get this card completed. Looks great. Glad they both inscribed with their debut dates. Awesome return. Great way to finish off this week's Through the Mail Monday. Put it in the books. Through the Mail Monday, number 289. That's right. Every single Monday, put out a Through the Mail Monday. Open up a bunch of envelopes. You guys check that out if you haven't done so already. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this week's haul. Of course, I've been doing my set update videos every Friday. 1974 tops, 84 tops, 87 tops, and 89 upper deck without fail. I've been doing that now for a few weeks now. Very excited. Putting those 10 cards in or so every single week. Thanks for joining me for those videos as well. I've got some other videos in my mind I will just need to make and upload, and hopefully you guys will like them as well. Lots of, obviously, autograph videos I do. Lots of fun Through the Mail Monday video type deal. So thanks, guys, for joining me. You know what? I changed my mind. I think I am going to try to make it up to T-Mobile Park this weekend to see the Mets and the Mariners. Mets playing their final game against the Angels today, I think. It is Sunday, Game 3. Hopefully they win that series. They got to win today. And Angels aren't doing very good, but they beat them yesterday. 5-4 or 4-3, something like that. 5-4, I think it was. Dang it. Grand slam by J.D. Martinez was not enough to beat the Angels. So Brazelbaum came in and essed the bed and gave up 3-run homer. That was not good. So anyway, I digress. I'm just going to go ahead and ramble on about the Mets here for the rest of the video. So let's just stop it now. While I'm ahead, thanks guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I do this every single week. Would love to have you along for the ride. 8 returns this week. I got another one coming up. I just got it back a couple days ago. I got one back from my old Albany address. So this one I've been 2.5 years, I think I have, for my forwarding. And this one I got back yesterday. forwarded to me, so this one is going to be a long one, at least a year, because I changed my address perhaps September of last year, maybe October of last year. So going to be probably quite a long one. And from the stamp, I can't quite recognize the stamp, so I'm excited. So stay tuned for that video next Monday. I'll be opening up that and filming that here in a couple days. Very much so looking forward to who that will be. And 6 or 7 more envelopes came in. I need to open up those as well. So more TTMs for next Monday. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.